The movie is a really good watch, a very interesting movie. I love the storyline. For me, it's 100%. The choice of casts, oh my god, really, really great. After doing all of that, they wanted to show that someone betrayed somebody. I don't know. They made the movie so long for no reason. There are some unnecessary parts in the movie. Yeah, and the part where they killed that boy too was unnecessary. This guy, the character Chike played.
I think they did a great job with the special effects that seem to help or complement the not so impressive fight scenes.
DJ Paco Rich.
Okay, guys, welcome to the channel. My name is DJ Paco Rich, and we are here to always serve you with great content when it comes to entertainment, movies, sports, music, just name it. I mean, it's our responsibility on this platform to feed you with great content. Yes, Ghana and Nigeria, this is where they live. This is where we give you stuff that you need. And so today I'm having a great conversation with my brother from Nigeria. His name is Victor. He works with Fresh FM and Blast FM. Yes, we're going to have a conversation. It's been in the trends. People are talking about these movies. They've been, sending us emails and messages. What do you have to say about Gangs of Lagos? Yes, so today we are going to speak about Gangs of Lagos. Gangs of Lagos. Yes, we are going to actually go into the movie, find out the questions that people really want to know, answers that people really want to have. People were expecting it was going to be a Netflix movie, but it was Amazon Prime. Why? We're going to find solutions and answers to all these questions. So today, doing this with my brother, let me introduce him. He's on the line waiting for us. Victor, how are you doing?
My brother, I'm doing very well. I am honored again to be on this great channel, amazing channel to talk about what's going on in Africa, what's going on in Nigeria and Africa at large. I really want to bless the fans, always keeping in touch and always tuning in to listen to amazing content and watch amazing content from this channel. It's really an amazing thing.
Yeah, I must be very honest with your dedication and your sincerity. I can see you are really having a busy day, but you think so much about our consumers and subscribers, so you've made time to speak to us and then have that great conversation. So before we talk about that movie, I'm sure some people haven't seen what kind of movie we are speaking about, so we're going to show them the trailer, and after that we'll have the conversation, right? All right, guys, so if you're ready, let's watch the trailer for Lagos, Gangs of Lagos.
When I was a baby, there was a premonition that I would not only become a street king, but I would die young like my father.
Why for life? Oh my for life. Oh my is life.
Now that I'm blowing up, maybe they think that I'm coming down. It's a jungle. Everyone does what they must to survive. So it's the best of times in Zaleko, but nothing good lasts long. The man Jeju.
Isaleko no go sleep until God answer every battle.
I got the anthem ready. When I was a baby.
Yes, so that was the trailer for the blockbuster Gangs of Lagos. First of all, Victor, what do you make of the entire movie Gangs of Lagos? What is your first impression after watching that movie?
When you want to talk about that movie, you would, as a Nigerian, you can actually relate to that movie because it's actually a story that every Nigerian can relate to, because this is what we experience in Nigeria. This is what we know. This is what we see happening around us in Nigeria. You see, from the casting of the character and all that, from the way the whole role was depicted in the movie, we can relate to the movie. So the movie is very relatable to us as a Nigerian and Africans in diaspora who knows the story of Nigeria, what is going on with our political game and all that. They could actually relate and pick some points or some few things from the movie. And personally, when I saw the movie, I was encouraged. I saw something very unique, something relatable, something every Nigerian can really relate with. Immediately we saw the movie, all of us were actually picturing the whole thing. We're actually allocating pictures of those characters to each particular people that it actually, are interpreted to in the society. So it's a very interesting movie, and it's the storyline is actually amazing. It's not just a movie that most movies when you look at them or you watch them, you see that they don't really have a straight storyline. It's just picking everything together, just picking and all that, and they just arrive at the conclusion. You could actually, as a Nigerian, you could actually see that this is our story, and from the representation of some deities, some cultures, and all that we have in the country. Especially the story really talks about what is happening in Lagos. Lagos, the political stuff, the political game, the hustle of politics in Lagos. The story really touches about that, and I think it's okay focus more on that. And that story, I would really give it is 8/10.
Well, Victor, if I may ask, I mean, to every two side, everything there has two side. Others might be impressed. I've had a couple of reviews from Nigeria that a lot of people too are not happy with certain things that were depicted in the movie, especially with the masquerade people wearing white. I heard certain parts of Lagos or certain people were not cool with that. What is the conversation around that particular masquerade thing?
All right, this is it. You see, whatever you do, you need to understand one thing, that you cannot please everybody.
Yeah.
No matter how perfect you think your thing or whatever you do is, you can't still please everybody. And then talking about the masquerade and all that you saw in the movie, there was actually a lot of controversies around that. There's a lot of conversations around that. People were actually like talking about why would they misrepresent that masquerade. It's actually deity in Lagos. They call them Eyo deity in Lagos. So I think Nigerian people or some particular people were actually saying that it is a misrepresentation of what they stand for, what Eyo stand for. If you watch the movie, you will see Eyo carrying gun and busting into where they were doing something and they were shooting, they were killing, they were camouflaging to be deity while they were assassins. You understand? So people were actually raising their eyebrow because of the whole shooting, the whole assassins scenario you saw in that movie that the Eyo masquerades were doing. So a lot of Nigerians, some of I don't want to say a lot of Nigerians, some particular people in Nigeria think that is not good. But I wouldn't blame them for using that, because that's the best thing they could use for that movie to actually depict what they were story they were trying to portray or they were trying to show us. So, them we've seen a lot of movies, even from the American industries and Hollywood movies, that they use most of the things that is going on in their country, most of the, real things they have in the country, most of things that can be touched, things that people can see, people can relate to. They use it and picture it in the movie, and people don't get to talk about it. But, when it comes to Nigeria, I think the reason why a lot of people are talking about the masquerade being misrepresented in the movie is probably because they feel the message, they got the message. The message got to them, let me put it that way, because maybe they could see that the message was actually directed to them, like the movie was actually directed to them. So a lot of people would not want to appreciate that. And there was a time I came across a post where I think Lagos state government was out actually saying that the movie was actually unveiling some secrets about Lagos, and it's not really good. and all that. So I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's something. I think the movie, they should be encouraged, and we actually got what they were saying, what the movie means. So
Yeah.
them using Eyo to depict another thing in the movie does not mean that Eyo masquerades were actually assassins. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Says that we use other masquerade apart from, doesn't mean that those masquerade that were used in other movies to
Yeah.
depict bad things, that doesn't mean that they were not existing.
I see.
But people don't get to talk about them. So, but when a story is now relating to you and it's touching you, you feel you have to come out and correct and speak
Yeah.
about it. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I understand very well. And also, I would also like to know that do you think that this movie, in one way or the other, has projected Lagos in a very negative way? I mean, from your own point of view, do you think that it has projected Lagos as a violent city? Because looking at how, I mean, big ups to the person that did the special effect in this movie, the bloody scenes and all those things were on point. I mean, it is just on the level of what Hollywood does, and I give them thumbs up for that. But do you think that this kind of movies are projecting Lagos in a very wrong way, or do you think we'll have to accept it that when you go to Hollywood, they do blockbuster movies, they do things that are not even in existence? You understand? Do you think that as a growing industry, we'd have to educate film lovers and movie lovers to understand that some of these things are just for cinematic and for, movie reasons? It is not just to tell them that this is what happens in this part of the world.
Okay, so you see about this, I don't want to sound too different about people's opinion.
Yeah.
But then I would say this: when you watch Hollywood or some other movie, some other type of movies, and you see some violent scenes in the movie, and you see them. I don't know. I'm trying to think about a movie. Like for instance, when you watch this recent movie, this recent Hollywood series, that's Night Agent, you will see them talking about mole in the government house. They were talking about somebody in the government house that is working against the government inside the presidential villa.
Yeah.
Does it mean every United States presidential villa in their White House, does it mean that there's always a mole there? Does it mean that there's always somebody that is always working against the government there?
No, I don't.
It was just a story. It was just a story. It was just a movie for movie lovers to appreciate. So it doesn't mean that they were trying to portray Lagos State in a bad, in a negative light.
All right. Brilliant submission there. I think it's about time that we go in for the opinions of other people that sent in videos and all that. So we are taking this from Ghana because I'm sure a lot of people are coming from Nigeria, so they want to hear what Ghanaians had to say about the movie. So this is from one great guy who reviews a lot of top movies here in Ghana. He owns a website called GH Movie Freak, and this is his review on Gangs of Lagos.
Okay, so this is Tony Asankoma, GH Movie Freak, and this is my quick review on the film Gangs of Lagos. First of all, I think it's a brilliant film. It does well to capture the ghetto life of the streets of Lagos, and although it might feel or seem a bit exaggerated, it's quite believable. It's quite understandable that there are people that involve themselves in all kinds of crime in the streets of Lagos, and the film has been made to capture the internal workings of these gangs and how it all leads into the grand scheme of national or regional politics. I think it's a brilliant idea. The next thing I like about the film is the cinematography and the lighting. In every single scene, you see some pop of color, either blue or red or warm or cool colors that seem to give the film a very cinematic feel. It's a crime thriller, of course, and for a crime thriller to really work, you need to see some lights and shadows, and that film really has that really did it for me. I also was impressed with the acting, particularly how the characters were developed. At every point, you seem to relate to all the central characters and their individual stories, and want to see them succeed one way or the other. And I think that was brilliant writing. What I didn't really like about the film, one thing that didn't really impress me is the fight scenes and the the choreography of the fight scenes. I think I've seen much better like fight scenes and choreography coming from this side of the world. I've seen better action sequences being done. This one just felt a bit so much like what you'd see in early 90s or early 90s Bollywood. Yeah, that's how it felt for me, and it didn't really impress me. It didn't. I wasn't sold, but I think they did a great job with the special effects that seemed to help or complement the not so impressive fight scenes. Another thing I didn't like about the film was I felt like there were a bit of some loose ends in the story. I mean, this is a short review, so I don't want to go into details, but it felt like there were some loose ends in the story, and I felt like a lot more could have been done to either explore those parts of the story or give some clarity to the story, or better still, give the audience a much more detailed understanding of what was going on in those particular subplots. I felt also that this could have easily been a film that could have been a series, a mini series of some sort, probably maybe a 5 or 4 part mini series, and that trying to compress everything into a feature was what sort of sort of took one or two things out of the film for me. So there you have it. That's my quick review on the film Gangs of Lagos.
Well, interesting. And Victor, I'm sure you've heard his reviews on the. I think he wasn't so impressed with the fighting choreography. He said it felt like some old Bollywood movies fighting choreography. He thinks that he's seen better, fighting choreography coming from some Nigerian movies like the Shanty Town or something. I think it was more advanced that. And do you agree with some of the points that he made? And he felt like there were certain points of the movies that were not really needed, like it could have been more detailed for the viewers to understand the story very well. Do you agree with some of these points he made, or you disagree?
The thing about people's opinion is you can't blame people for their opinion. Everybody would always have their opinion or their perspective about things. But then, regarding what you said about there were some things in the movie that were not really needed, that's true. There are some scenes in the movie that were not actually needed. Some scenes look like rushy, like they had to rush to do it. You understand? So there's no how you try to cook something perfectly that it will be perfect. You can't cook something that's very perfect. Even when you watch Hollywood movies, they are not perfect. So, but that's his own opinion anyway. And honestly, I would say that there are some parts in that movie that were not actually needed, that it could have just been removed or probably, garnished very well instead of what we have there. Like I can pick some places in the movie that, we don't really need this particular place in this movie. But then it's movie already.
Okay. All right. I think we have had the Ghanaian side of the story, so it will be fair enough for us to take our Nigerian, views, opinions about how the movie also went. So let's listen to our Nigerian sisters from Ibadan.
Gangs of Lagos. What do you think about the movie?
Yeah, the movie is a really good watch, a very interesting movie. I love the storyline. for me it's 100%. The choice of casts, oh my god, really really great. And the storyline, yeah, I mentioned that. Cast and cinematography, yeah, really great. And you're talking about the storyline, and in that movie is the movie depicts the life of an average Lagosian. You know how it depicts how the Isaliko, lifestyle, yeah, and it also depicts how politics is basically practiced in Lagos, actually. The upper class and the lower class, yeah. But the highlight of this movie for me is the cast, actually. It's, we know how Adeso Aitomi has always been the role of a fine woman, fine baby girl, and, being able to play that role of a tomboy in this particular movie really, really is amazing. Yeah, I love the movie. For me, I would rate it, I'll give it a 9.5 over 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I really love the movie.
Wow.
It's a very interesting movie. Yeah.
Alright, so I don't know if you've heard about the misrepresentation in the movie, your deity, the way they represent them in the movie. What do you think? Do you think it's bad to represent them in that light?
Yeah, maybe. Of course, no matter how great, a project is, there's always room for constructive criticism. Oh god, nothing for constructive criticism. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I really do not like about the movie, the way they depicted Ayo. Of course, Ayo is like what's it called?
Like a deity
in Lagos, and the fact that they wear white depicts them as very peaceful kind of deity, and so seeing them being represented in the movie as it's like that's the only thing I can say that it's not really good enough. Yeah.
Okay, so that was a view of a very beautiful woman from Nigeria as well. Let's take another view or another point of view from another Nigerian sister.
It's actually a really nice movie, honestly. It's obvious they actually spent a lot of money to make that movie. It's very clean, very, very, how would I put it? It's clean, Sha.
So
it's very smooth.
Okay.
But one thing I see about it is that they elongated the movie for unnecessary reasons. Some unnecessary reasons. I feel like the point they are trying to explain is okay, everybody wants to rule Lagos in a way for this, and it's obvious that those guys are working for politicians, right? So after doing all of that, they wanted to show that someone betrayed somebody. I don't know. They made the movie so long for no reason. There are some unnecessary parts in the movie. Yeah, and the part where they killed that boy too was unnecessary. This guy, the character Chike played.
Okay.
Yeah, that was unnecessary too. But the movie is very interesting. It made mad sense.
Okay.
I like the action.
Okay. So what do you think about people, the controversies around them using Ayo, portraying them in the light of killing people and assassin and all that, and there was also a recent report that Lagos State Governor said they were exposing some secret about Lagos. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like anything can be used to make a movie, honestly. You can't say, okay, all the movies they made about Nelson Mandela now, they will not come and say there is a lie inside or something. That this is not how Nelson Mandela came out. This is not how Nelson Mandela did this. So I don't see that as a problem. I see it as they are trying to show that this is a culture. They're trying to prove drama. They're trying to bring drama and make sure the movie is worth it, not just the old misrepresentation or something like that.
Okay, so let's take the last view from Nigeria, then we'll go back to Victor, then we'll wrap up for the show. We've almost done about 23. It's unusual of us, but let's hear this from Nigeria as well.
Well, I'm a bad liar, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that I have seen spoilers on the internet. and so many people have given so much reviews about it. I follow a couple of movie reviews, pages or blogs on social media that have at least rated it about 7.5, 8 over 10, 9 over 10. Some are even screaming 10 over 10. So it must be a really good movie. But I haven't seen it yet. I just might see it this weekend.
Okay, so I believe you must have heard about the
Okay, so we're going to end her part there because she said she hasn't seen the movie, so we are really running out of time. But Victor, in all, what would be your rating for Gangs of Lagos movie?
Let me chip in this thing before we round up. When I was asking around about that movie, there was some comparison with that movie. There's another movie that looks like something relating to that. It's not really like that. Doesn't have the same storyline, but it looks something like that, and that's Brotherhood. So a lot of people would pick Gangs of Lagos over Brotherhood. So, relating to or regarding my rating for Gang of Lagos, my brother, for me, Gang of Lagos is just an amazing movie, and I will rate it, 8 over 10. They really tried. If you want to rate a movie, you don't rate a movie just by the errors you see in the movie. You rate it by the plot, the story, the setting, the scenes, the character, how the whole thing got linked to each other and all that. There are so many things you use to rate a movie or you use to critique a movie. You just don't watch a movie and see some errors. Every movie you watch must have one error. There's no perfect movie in the world.
Yeah.
You understand? So
Yeah.
so like but me looking at the story and comparing this Gangs of Lagos with the previous movies we've been seeing in Nigerian movie industry,
Yeah.
my brother, please don't change. Nigerian movies are really Nigeria movie industry has changed a lot. There's a lot of
Yeah,
things that changed about them. And
looking at the days of Isakaba to the Gangs of Lagos,
yeah, you watch that movie. You watch
yes,
Isakaba.
of course, we have really made a lot of progress. Looking at the fighting scenes and the stunts in Isakaba, and looking at this, we've really made a lot of progress and all that. So, my brother, I think
Exactly.
I think there is more room for improvement. We pray that the Nollywood industry
Yeah, we keep
opens up very
improving. You
big.
can't be you can't be
Yeah, true.
yeah, you're right.
All right, so my brother, I think we've done almost about, for the first time in our conversation, we've done almost about 26 minutes. It's unusual, so viewers forgive us for extending the conversation. But I mean, it's of all goodness of the conversation and all that. So, guys, we definitely come back for another conversation. I won't tell you about it, but it's an interesting one about the Lagos and what's the pronunciation of that state? Ogun or Ogun?
Ogun is pronounced Ogun.
Ogun, yes.
It was funny the way you pronounce that. And when I posted it, and some people from that particular state were like, "Is that my state? When has Ogun turned to Ogun or something?" It was funny.
Ogun State. So
it's not Ogun.
we actually going to do an interesting thing about Ogun State and Lagos States. I will tell you the topic, but when it comes out, you definitely find out. So, guys, we're going to leave you here. If you haven't watched the movie, go watch it. Gangs of Lagos. It's a blockbuster. It's a great movie. It's an improvement for African cinema films, and I'm sure we'll definitely get there. My only disappointment was that I wanted it on Netflix, but I had it on Amazon Prime. But all the same, these are great platforms.
I thought we were going to say something about that.
Okay,
that
just
part.
quickly before we wrap it up, what do you have to say about the movie not being on Netflix and being on Amazon Prime?
Looking at African movie industry now, it's becoming very large, and in the world now we have Nigeria movie industry as the second largest movie industry in the world. So, and it's kind of like a competition. It's more like competitions between all these distribution companies. So it's who come first and whose offer is better. So I think Amazon Prime, came through at the right time, and I think that's why Netflix couldn't get the distribution.
Right.
I think Amazon Prime came first, and the deal probably they have a better agreement on the distribution and the percentage of the distribution. So I think that's the reason. Because some people were saying actually that he did not meet up with the criteria for Netflix. It wasn't really that. I think it was because Amazon came first or had a better deal on the distribution and percentage than Netflix. I think that's why.
All right, beautiful day, beautiful conversation with my brother Victor. Victor, definitely we're going to speak more when you get back to Ibadan. We'll have great conversation. Thank you for your time. And viewers, let's know what you think. Give us your opinion, your views, your reviews, and your comments. And you can, criticize us too. If you want us to improve on something, let us know. We are open for that. So, guys, thank you for watching. And let me know where you're watching from. Your views and your comments are welcome. I'm Paco Rich, and I'm out of here.
DJ Paco Rich.